welcome to episode 3 of the Covert Knitter podcast. I'm Katie. If you're coming back, so great to see you again. If you're new, please join my channel, subscribe below. This is where I like to talk about all of my knitting projects, knitting acquisitions, some other fun stuff. And then today also I'm going to talk about something a little bit different. So let's start with the 2 projects I'm currently working on, and then I'm going to talk about the project I'm about to start, and then we'll get into acquisitions. So first of all, I picked back up this project in this cute little project bag. I got the yarn for this and started this, gosh, March or April of 2021, and then it got kind of put on hold for the wedding shawls that I've done. Basically I was on a work trip and forgot my knitting, found a yarn store, got some yarn, some knitting needles, the project bag, stitch marker. So this is from Yarn Social in Kansas City, Missouri. And this is what I'm working on. It's going to be a cowl, and I just kind of found a stitch pattern I really liked on Pinterest and just kind of started knitting. So that's what the main side of it looks like, but I'm also in love with how the back part of it is turning out and the texture there as well. Let me see. I know one of these yarns has a center in it. So the yarns I'm using are... This is Farmer's Daughter's Fiber, Moon Sisters in the color Dumpling. Again, I got this yarn over a year ago, so I don't know if this yarn is still available or not. I'll link the dyer's website down below if I can find one. But I don't know if I can. And then this is also a Farmer's Daughter's Fiber, and it is a Mohair, but I'm not, I don't have the little tag in the center, so I don't quite know what this is. But I just picked out these 2 yarns, held them together. Yeah, it's super soft. I'm loving it right now. Super fun to work with. And it's a really good travel size, so I actually think I'm going to put this down for a little bit because later this month we have 2 weddings that we are traveling for. We have one in Cincinnati, Ohio, and then we have another one out in Palm Springs, California. So I do like that this is nice and small and very easy to carry along with me. So I just kind of want to be able to do that with that one. And then going the completely opposite direction, I have started the blanket for my friend out of the Bernat Big Blanket Extra. I just got this yarn at Joann Fabrics. I think they rebranded as Joann's. I don't remember the color of this, but it is, again, the Bernat Big Blanket Extra. And I'll post the color down below. For this one, I kind of just, again, started knitting. For the very bottom, I did a 1x1 rib. I cast on 75 stitches, similar to the blanket on the wrapper of some of them. And then I did a purl row, did a bunch of rows of stockinette stitch, and then did another just little line of purl, and then I'm working on stockinette stitch. This is a very slow project for me. I was not quite expecting that, but my hands are not a huge fan of these big size 17 needles, so it is definitely making my hands and wrists work a little harder than I would like, so I am going fairly slow, doing only 1 or 2 rows on this a day. Currently, with this much, I'm on the 2nd ball of yarn. So, because I need a project and want to travel with the other one, I am going to start. I was looking at needles and looking at what I'm all planning to have come up in the next couple months. I'm thinking probably all the way through to the end of November at this point. And I'm going to start the Pink Fizz sweater by Andrea Mowry. I've shown this yarn before, but I am using, it uses a fingering weight yarn and then held with a Mohair. So for the fingering, I'm using Mariquita in Mushroom Bisque. Love, love, love that like just neutrally beigey gray color. And then I'm holding it with actually 2 different kinds of Mohair that are roughly the same color, and I am going to do kind of like what you do with any like hand-dyed yarn where you knit like a row with one and a row with the other. So I'm going to do that with the Mohair and then just hold the Mariquita consistent. So I'm going to start that. I'm going to wind the yarn tonight and hopefully get started on that. I do need to gauge swatch it still, but again, I need the yarn wound first. So I'm hoping to get like the yarn wound and the gauge swatch done tonight so I can start this hopefully tomorrow. And then let's get into acquisitions. So there's a couple large ones this time, but we'll get there in a second. So let's start with some yarn that I've been waiting to come in, and this came in actually like the week of my wedding, which was very exciting. And I'm very excited for this yarn and this purpose. So I have my Teeny Button Studio 30 Flirty and Thriving colorway came in, and I got this on Soft Sock. This is still available on her website currently. She dyed this for her 30th birthday, and I think I'm going to use it. My plan is to use it. I have 5 skeins. They're all gorgeous. They go together super well. For hand-dyed, I don't know if I am going to alternate them. I should. I don't know if I'm going to. But she dyed this for her 30th birthday. Called it 30 Flirty and Thriving. I turned 30 in March. It felt entirely right to get this and knit myself a sweater for my 30th birthday. So with this, my plan is to knit the DRK Weekender, or Drea Renee Knits Weekender Light Sweater. And I'm hoping to have this done by my 30th birthday. My plan is to start this end of December, beginning of January, and have it finished by the beginning of March. So that came in. I ordered this like immediately when it came out. So it's been, I think it was like a six to 8 week turnaround. I think it was closer to 6. Yeah, so I'm very excited for that project. And then something else that I'm very excited for that I realized when I was knitting shawls for my wedding, that needles make a very large difference to how my hands feel these days. So I'll talk more about this in a future episode. I kind of want to experiment and play around a little bit more first. But I was recently diagnosed with like a presumed rheumatoid arthritis, so I am actually on medication for that. But I have noticed more than in the past, the needles I'm using really affect how my hands are feeling. And I knit a lot, so it can be very painful potentially. I was knitting with the Knitter's Pride carbons on my shawl for the wedding, and for both of the mom shawls I used the Addy Rocket Squared needles. And towards the end, when I was working on both mine and my mom's shawl, I noticed that my hands felt much better with the Rocket Squared. And I still do love the Knitter's Pride carbons. I would definitely recommend those, especially if you don't have any issues with your hand. I've used those needles for years and really, really like them, especially like the really small sizes. They seem to work really, really well for me. So I got myself the Addy Rocket Squared shorts interchangeable set. I'm going to see how I like these. This is my first interchangeable set of needles. Prior to that, I just would buy, the standalone, like, needles, because I have one pair of interchangeable needles, and it's actually the set that, this cowl is on, and in the beginning, I had it fall apart a few times before I, finally looked up some tips on how to make them not kind of, the needles to like unscrew and like come off the cord. So this has 8 sizes, US 4 through 11, and then it has the cords 16, 20, 24, 32, and 40 inches, as well as the click connector and the grips. So I'm excited to start using this, but that's also why I've been planning kind of what I'm knitting and what I'm knitting when, so that I don't need the same set of needles for multiple projects. I do know one of the projects coming up uses a size 3. I was not able to find size 3 interchangeables that go with the set. So I actually ordered the Rocket Squared size 3 standalones today for that project. With this, I also ordered just more stitch markers. These are the CocoKnits small colorful stitch markers, and they fit up to the US size 7, the 4.5 millimeters. So I'm excited for those because I lose stitch markers all the time. I think the cat steals them, if I'm being honest. He's probably got a stash of stitch markers under the couch. I should look under there. Yeah, so future projects that I'm going to be working on, I don't quite have the yarn yet, but I did order it, and that should be coming next week sometime. I am going to do the Winter Wonderland make-along by Knit for the Soul. Her first name is Kay, and I don't remember her last name off the top of my head, but I am going to be doing that. I'll share the yarn in my next episode, but check that out if you want to join me in that. And then I also got some yarn for a couple more patterns. So for my new sister-in-law, I am going to make her a shawl too. I'm going to do the half and half striped triangles wrap from Purl Soho. So that pattern came out a little bit more recently. The half and half triangles wrap has been super popular. Haven't knit one yet. This is my first half and half triangles wrap, and I'm very excited to do the striped one just for a little bit more like fun with color and texture. So I got yarn for that. So we got, and she helped me pick out yarn while she was here for the wedding. She lives in London, so we don't see her a ton, but it was fun to go and pick out yarn together. So we're going to do a Spincycle yarn. This is actually my first time knitting with Spincycle, and this one is Robin's Egg. It claims it's a sport weight. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it work. And then we did, oh goodness, the Brooklyn Tweed Peerie fingering. The colors she chose were Humpback, which is like this dark gray, Henge, which is a lighter gray. There is a pink one. Is this pink or is this is muslin? So this isn't quite pink. This is more of like a creamy color. And then Vintner. I think that is all of the colors of this. Yes, that is all of the colors of this. So that's going to be with this guy kind of thrown in there. And then a little bit more texture, we also got the Emma's Yarn Marvelous Mohair, and we got one in Himalayan Salt and another in Drops of Jupiter, and I'm gonna hold these two together kind of with this. So I'm very excited for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Very excited to start that one, but this one uses the same needle size as the Winter Wonderland make-along, so I'm probably going to do that first because that is a shorter, like, condensed time frame. So do that, get that project kind of done, completed. I'm very excited to see how that one turns out. And then get started on this because this is going to take me quite a bit of time because they're massive, and of course my plan is to do the larger size. So, and then, so these were all from Cream City Yarn in Brookfield, Wisconsin. I also got more of the Emma's Marvelous Mohair in kind of like a dark bluish gray, and this color is Bell Bottoms. And this one is actually going to go with the Legally Blonde yarns I talked about from Teeny Button. So the Legally Blonde yarns, it's going to go with that for a shawl. And I'll talk more about that when I get ready to make that shawl. Because I do have a pattern picked out, but it's going to probably be a little bit before I get to that one, so I'm just going to kind of wait and talk about it then. So that's a lot of what I'm working on right now. I have a lot of like fun projects planned. I have a lot of stuff that I'm also working on. I'm also working on a tech editor course. Yeah, so that's most of it. And then in the mail I thought I got and thought it would be fun. Just gonna put these away. To open my Paper Gang box. So I originally got the subscription for my mom several years ago, and did a couple months for her. She was like, yeah, like it's great, but then like I kind of like just moved on to like other stuff. So then I moved it to my name, and I've been getting it since because I am also very addicted to paper. Love paper. So I got this in the mail 2 days ago, and I've been waiting to open it. It's not open at all. It's completely closed still. So I figured I would open it with you guys. So this does come from Britain. It's kind of fun to get the shipping notifications that actually, like, this got delivered, I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday this week, and I've already gotten the shipping notification that my next one is on the way because it takes so long to get to me. But fun little surprises in the mail. So this is by Oh Dear. I'll link this down below as well. And it comes with like the little explanation of what everything is. And then it comes with like a cute little bundle of paper goodies. So I'm going to just open this. Okay. Got everything out of there. So it's got this fun little washi tape, and this is kind of, it's not quite a rose gold. I would say this is more like orange and white striped little washi tape. It says there's 10 meters roll of copper foil washi tape is what that says. And then there are some cute little greeting cards. So one is a happy birthday card. I don't know. Let me say anything. It doesn't say anything on the inside. And then one that says happiest of days. I'm guessing this is also, yep, that one is also blank on the inside with their little envelopes. Very cute, kind of 70s themed. It looks like these were designed by High Wild West, which is out of the US. So there's G. So the theme of the box is changing seasons. Yeah, and then Rebecca is this month's designer, and it kind of just goes through all, like, it has a little bio usually and talks about different things, and yeah. And then there is this, which is, I'm guessing, the Square Artist print, printed on luxury 300 paper. This print will brighten any space. That is very cute. Maybe I'll frame that and put that in my background somewhere, because it kind of goes with my color scheme a little bit. And then a cute little planner. So this is a daily planner, which includes daily and monthly views. So on the front, it just has the standard who this belongs to. And it's got, so this is like the daily layout. So it's got like the objectives, to-do list, timetable, key tasks, and then on the other page it has some spots for notes and doodles. And then, is that just how it goes? I do like that it doesn't have like the hard dates in there, so if you know, if you have a day where you're not doing stuff, it's totally fine and you can kind of just ignore it. It says there's a month view in here. There is a little ribbon bookmark. You can kind of see the top of it there. There's the bookmark. Bookmark, that's orange. Oh, and then at the back there is like a monthly view. And it's, how many are there of the monthly views? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 4 monthly views, so I'm guessing that's roughly how many to like daily pages there are in here as well. So that's my fun little paper gang box. And then one thing they do for every 4 boxes you get, they plant a tree. So yeah, that is my fun little paper gang box. I do love getting those, and I'm gonna probably keep getting those for a little bit. I may or may not continue to share them, kind of depends on when I film and when they come, because that's about the longest I can wait to open it. I'm not the most patient person in the world when it comes to opening packages, but part of the time that's because I forget, and I want to make sure if it is something that is like time sensitive, like clothing returns type stuff, or like if it's something that has parts, you need to make sure all the parts are there, like the bed we ordered. Then I want to make sure like I have time to deal with like anything I need to. Yeah, so like I got a box of clothing from J. Crew this week, and like that all fit and is great. But then also like we ordered a new bed, and it came with a large portion of the pieces missing. So I'm currently waiting to hear back from the manufacturer to see if they can send me those parts or what they want me to do with it. So that's what I'm up to. I would love to hear, you know, what you guys are up to. You know, if you like, I would love to follow people on Instagram. So just like, you know, drop your Instagram username below so I can, you know, kind of follow you guys as well. Check out my Instagram. I do tend to post there a little bit more frequently, and you might see things that are happening there a little bit more in real time versus how often I post. My plan now that the wedding is over is to kind of like film every other week and then post on the weeks that I don't film, so that I have like a week to kind of edit them, make sure that I can actually fill out the bottom bars, and hopefully improve my editing quality a little bit. So I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will be back with a project update soon.